Hey everyone, welcome back. It's now 12:30 at night. I was trying to get some sleep. Did a video on the session layer. I was hoping that would put me to sleep, but nope, it did not. So here we are. We're going to be talking about the presentation layer now, and get this going. Hopefully, it won't take too long. This is not very many slides on this. It's not very difficult to comprehend what goes on at the presentation layer. So let's just jump right into it. So first thing about the presentation layer is the data found at the presentation layer is called a message. So, and I've said this repeatedly in other videos, but we have ones and zeros, which are bits at the physical layer. Then those are chunked together at the data link layer, and they're called frames, and so on and so forth. So this process kind of happens on the way up. So and again, the data found at the presentation layer is a message. And the purpose of the presentation layer is to translate the data from the format that the network is using to the format that the computer wants to use. So it's important to understand I'm saying what the computer wants, and the computer is going to be basically doing things on what the applications want. It is not what the user wants at this point. It's what the computer wants in relation to how the network is dealing with traffic. All right. So a testable answer that is be good to know if you're going for certification. The presentation layer does data translation. We already talked about that. Encryption and compression. And another one is the ability to change the format of the data from like ASCII to EBCDIC or back and forth. And I just picked up those two. That doesn't mean it's the only way it can change the format. It is important to also understand that in relation to testing, that encryption is found here. That doesn't mean you can't have encryption some other places. There are third-party add-ons that kind of inject themselves into the OSI model, like the Unisys Stealth product kind of injects itself at in between layer 2 and 3 to provide its own form of encryption, but it is possible. In relation to the test, the first layer of encryption is really at the presentation layer. Alrighty, so file formats found at the presentation layer. I'm just going to click through this real fast because they are very similar, and the easiest way to understand what file formats are found at the presentation layer is if you can see it or you can hear it. So we got PIC, TIFF, these are all image files. Right in here, these are all image files. We have MIDI MP3, you could have MP4s, things like that, QuickTime files. So if you can see it or you can hear it, then it's found at the presentation layer. And that's one of the easiest ways to figure it out. I bring this up because you may get a question if you're going for certification on if they give you a question, what layer of the OSI model is a JPEG file found at? And then you can say it's the presentation layer. And with that, like I said, this is going to be super short, super sweet. Wow, under 4 minutes. Looking at that, that's awesome. If you have any questions or comments, please leave feedback. We won't hold it against you if you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, if there's anything in particular you would like to get more data on, more flesh it out a little bit more, please let us know, and we'll look into that. Other than that, I really appreciate the time everybody spent at 12:30 at night because I can't sleep, and I will look forward to talking to you next time. See ya.